I got to a point where that I call my last straw. And for me, the last straw was I just knew that I was done. I just could not do anymore. I think I had been in the position of trying to leave 2 years beforehand. So it wasn't actually an immediate thing. I didn't know how to leave because, like you say, when it's been such a number of years, to then get up and say, I'm going to leave, everybody's like, what do you mean you're going to leave? I mean, how are you going to do that? Well, your children, you're this, you're that.
You're
You
right.
know, and I sacrificed myself for a long time.
All that moment with everything you were going through, was there one thing that kept you going? Were you looking up to, should I say, was there a God factor for you in there? Was there someone you were relying on?
I didn't actually.
So it was just you.
It really was just me. You know, a lot of people are suffering in silence. We don't, especially within Africa, we don't talk about these very real issues of what happens behind closed doors, you know. We go into marriages and we're just stuck there and we don't know how to leave because of family pressure, whatever. And so by talking about this stuff, it actually allows other people to feel like they're not alone.
Welcome to another beautiful conversation on the Jenny Lifestyle Lounge. Then again, my name is Jenny. Today with me, I have Dela. She's an amazing woman who is doing so well for herself. And I want us to get interactive so we can let you know what she's been doing with and what she does in her life. She's a beautiful mother of four. If I tell you she's in her mid-40s, you won't believe it. Today, she's going to tell us her dieting, her fitness journey, like everything we need to know about her. She's going to tell us. Hi, Dela.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank
You're
you.
looking splendid.
Thank you.
Okay, I can't wait to get talking to you because your voice is doing it all for me. You sound
Great.
so good.
Oh, thank you.
We can get into it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
Go for it.
So, being a Ghanaian, being born in the UK,
Yeah.
having spent most of your life and even building a family there, factoring in occasional visits to Ghana,
Yeah.
but then you decide to move your entire family together. I can only imagine it wasn't just a simple decision. How did your movement from the UK to Ghana come about and what led to that decision?
Okay, yeah, it was a big decision. I mean, at the time I was married
Okay.
and my ex at the time wanted us to come to Ghana. He hadn't been here for so many years and we did a family holiday in 2007 and he loved it. And so he for years wanted us to come back and I wasn't ready. When I was younger, I'd been to Ghana like every other year. And so for me, Ghana wasn't something that was new. Ghana is very different to how it is today. Ghana today is very much, you know, there's a lot more happening, but back then it was a lot slower. There was nothing here, you know, and so I really had no interest in Ghana, but he really wanted to push. But after I started having my children, then I thought, okay, you know what? Maybe now's a good time. Let's go and try it. And that's kind of how it came about. So in 2014, we moved to Ghana.
Okay, so then how long have you been in Ghana?
Been here 10 years.
Wow, that's a lot of years.
I know.
1, 2,
long
3,
time.
like 10.
10, yeah.
Wow. So what contributed to the stay? Was it the kids? Was it because family had moved in? Was it businesses and all? What actually contributed?
Honestly speaking, I think at first, for me, it was the children. They just adapted so well. The son, like, there was like a freedom of life that I hadn't experienced in the UK before. And then I started to notice that there were businesses that I wanted to build and I was changing and I could tell that I was changing. And so for me, if I had decided to go back to the UK, all of those things would have stopped. And so I just wanted that to continue. I wanted to kind of see where it would go for me. And I mean, it's so far it's proved fruitful because I'm a different woman.
Oh, that's nice. I want to talk about this. I don't know, but I really want to. You are involved with in real estate. You create content.
Yeah.
You have a foundation.
Yeah.
You are an entrepreneur, and you are a single mother of 4.
Yeah.
All this, arguably, please don't come for me. I think this is a definition of an independent woman because you are doing so well for yourself, and it's mind blowing for me. And then again, it's inspiring a lot of the youth out there. Whoa. On your YouTube About page, you go with an information that features welcome to my channel where I'll be showing you my very real living in Ghana.
Yeah.
Then I asked, you want to put your real unfiltered life, then also in the aspect of the possibility of your relationship not working out. Don't you find that's like risky?
No, because this is real life. And in real life, we all go through things, right? Some things are unexpected, some things we plan for. And if I'm going to give you a true account of who I am, then those things are part of it. I mean, when my marriage fell apart, it was a very real part of my life. It was a huge chunk of it. And so if that's changing, I can't not update the people. If I'm saying I'm a real person, I want to be honest and I want to be open. And I always stick with that value that I want to be real. I want to be relevant to people, you know, like I'm not the first person that's gone through a marriage breakup, and I'm sure I won't be the last. And so I think by putting it out there, I can actually use that, even though it's a negative thing, I can use it in a positive way to also inspire people, you know. And so that's how my foundation was also born as well. You know?
Okay, we'll get into your foundation.
Yeah.
So then I also want to ask that with the openness that you have with your life, do you think on the perceptions of your audience, do you think that also influenced their experience in their lives?
Yes, to some degree. I think because I do get a lot of messages from people, you know, they tell me that I'm inspiring. Some people hate me. I definitely have a mixture of emotions from people, which is fine. That's to be expected because no matter what decision you make in life, somebody's always going to agree and somebody's not going to agree with you. But at the end of the day, you have to stick true to what is you. And, you know, I put it out there and I always say that, you know, a lot of the time you come and criticize me for what I'm doing, but you're also doing it, but you're just not doing it on camera.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm being real. This is me. I'm not perfect. I'm imperfect. You know, I'm going to make mistakes. So you're just able to see my journey of making mistakes and for things that are doing well for me too. So you're able to see the balance of the two things, you know?
The single mother of 4 and you're in your mid-40s, I must say you don't look it.
Don't look at the belly then.
No, your dress. I mean, this lady really came prepared. She says, snatched and you know it.
Yeah.
And got it there. Like, you're really doing it and you're making it look nice. Do you know Miss Bell? She got a song like Sweet 16.
Oh, yeah.
She do a remix with my boy.
That's you.
Is there anything like dieting, fitness journey that you do to keep you like this?
But I will say that I'm not the fittest right now. I do have a personal trainer. So he's definitely whipping me into shape. That's on pause for now, but I'm going back to it. But I think genetics definitely plays a huge part in that. But it's good and a bad thing to look like this because sometimes when you look too young, you know, people don't respect you. This small girl, what does she know? You know, that
I know.
You know, so I'm like, I'm probably older than you. No. So it's really a bad thing. Yeah.
Absolutely don't look it.
Yeah, so for being in Ghana, it's not good in terms of if you want to get a certain type of respect. It's not good on that level. But I mean, it's good to look youthful though. So, you know.
Look beautiful.
Thank
no matter how old you are. I mean, so then I want to know your take on this very question I'm about to ask you. Okay, so what is your take on marriages or relationships breaking up? And how did your experience of staying in marriage for 18 years influence your perspective on knowing when to leave? You know, in a typical Ghanaian community or society, to have been in a marriage for like that number of years, someone might want to consider because of the kids. Someone will be like, I spent literally all my life with this gentleman or lady. Where am I going? Someone will be like, let me just stay. Let me just be in. Let's just do us.
Yeah.
How did you know when to leave? Like at this point, you feel like, okay, I want to. And I will be glad if you ask how you left. So when and how did you know that you had to leave at the point you had gotten to?
Yeah. I think I got to a point where that I call my last straw. And for me, the last straw was I just knew that I was done. I just could not do anymore. I think I had been in the position of trying to leave 2 years beforehand. So it wasn't actually an immediate thing. I didn't know how to leave because like you said, when it's been such a number of years to then get up and say, I'm going to leave, everybody's like, what do you mean you're going to leave? I mean, how are you going to do that? Well, your children, you're this, you're that.
Right.
You know, and I sacrificed myself for a long time. And I just thought, do you know what? If I really want to say I'm living life, I have to do this because this is not for me. This situation has not become viable. and I have to do what's right for me. And when I even consider the children, it was also right for the children to me to make that decision. So I just decided that, you know what, I'm going to do this. It wasn't an easy decision. Let me say that. It was very, very difficult. It actually meant for me to go back and rediscover who I am again. And that caused a lot of trauma for me, you know, and it took a long time for me to be able to come out of that space and sort of reinvent myself and just remember who I actually was before I got married. So it's not an easy decision to make, that's for sure. It's not one you should make on a whim.
Talk about the kids. You mentioned when you were giving your submission, I want to know that did people come at you letting them be like, you didn't prioritize the well-being of the kids, or you not wanted to continue, but you wanted to just, did you have people coming at you like that hard?
Oh yeah, I had a lot of people coming at me. They made it very difficult for me at the time, actually, because I was extremely vulnerable. But honestly, this decision wasn't just for me, it was for my children as well. Because I think one thing that people overlook when it comes to marriages ending or being in a place where the marriage is no longer healthy is that does affect the children. So by me saying that, okay, I'm going to stay for the sake of the children, actually, they would have seen me break down and they would have seen things get more and more toxic. And that for me is worse than just seeing a breakup. My children see me now and they know that I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy, rather than seeing the side of me that's just a shadow of me, you know? I don't think that's healthy to look at. So although people say you haven't considered the children, I actually have. So
in all that moments with everything you were going through, was there one thing that kept you going? Were you looking up to, should I say, was there a God factor for you in there? Was there someone you were relying on? Was there something you were looking at and like, in all this pain, I know I've got this one person that I can follow? Did you have such a figure in your life?
I didn't actually.
So it was just you.
It really was just me. So I knew that once I had made that decision that I wanted to walk away, I knew that this was the right decision because it wasn't an easy decision to make. I actually didn't have anybody. I have my brothers and they support me, but they don't live in the country. They're outside. And if I didn't really have anybody that I could talk to about, look, this is my pain, this is, you know. And so it was tough. But for most of my life, I've been a loner anyway. So it wasn't completely strange to me. But it was very, very, very difficult. Like, hey.
And no, but then you're strong. I mean, all this, I see you as a strong woman. But you did it, and you are here today.
Definitely. Obviously, there is the God aspect as well. I cried to God many times, but I knew that it was the right decision deep within me somewhere. I just had to pull it out. You know, I had people I could talk to every now and again about things, but I never had a one persistent person that would, you know, that I could rely on. No.
So after the marriage ended, what was it for you then? What next did you put to yourself that you wanted to do?
Honestly, I didn't know. I was actually lost for a very, very long time. I really didn't know because I didn't know where to begin rebuilding myself. And so I didn't know what I wanted to do at the time. All I did with for my YouTube channel was I switched my content. So I stopped having content that was so much about my personal life and I made it about, you know, I did more real estate. I did more interviews with other people. So people wouldn't necessarily see what my life was like while I was going through that transition, you know. And I didn't really know what the next step was. I was just living life. And I think I allowed myself to have a period of singleness, if that makes sense. So I allowed myself to just have times where I was having a little bit of fun, you know, and just trying to understand who I was as a person again. Because for me, my life stopped at 24 and then I had this huge gap that I had to fill. And so I was just trying to fit in the pieces and try and find what I'd lost and try and regain some of that. So honestly, I didn't know what my next step was at that point. So yeah, it just didn't happen. I think as I started to heal, then I started to talk. The more attacks that I was getting about my relationship, that's what made me want to then start talking about relationships. And then that's the direction that I wanted to go in.
So today, I mean, in this modern and global world, ladies, or should I say women, are too particular when it comes to wedding days. Okay, I think sometimes they forget themselves, distinguishing between wedding days and then the marital life after. I mean, the whole wedding.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? Your thoughts? I mean, what do ladies take weddings for and think of marriage lives after?
Honestly, I think it's crazy to spend so much money on a wedding day, because your wedding day is so fleeting, and probably that day you probably won't even eat. Your guests will just look at pictures afterwards, then the day is gone and you spend all this money. For me, it doesn't make sense. Focus on your marriage. For me personally, if I was to get married again, which I don't want to, I would rather spend money on, like having the best honeymoon, traveling, doing some things that are actually going to mean something to me, rather than putting on a show for other people. Because essentially, that's what the marriage, the wedding day is. It's a show for other people, right? If you have it, then do it. But I don't understand the point of spending so much money when you don't have it, just for people to come and eat at your wedding and dance. If you want to, then have a small celebration, invite the few people that are very close to you and enjoy it that way. But honestly, for me, the wedding day, one day is gone. I mean, makes no sense. I don't get it. So don't stop doing that thing where you spend so much money and then you get divorced, you're still paying for your marriage. Can't do that.
Okay. She started all, but then in this, we're going to say a very big congratulations to Choma and Denido. They actually made a very beautiful couple. I wish them the best and congratulations to them. Now, Dela, your foundation is focused on healthy relationships. Do you think your experiences in life has in any way met the goals and visions to your foundation?
No, I miss a lot of things in my own marriage, which is why the foundation is there. The foundation is actually, it's basically showing a lot of the things that I missed, things that I didn't realize that I needed from a relationship. So the basis of the foundation is to be able to teach people some of the things that I miss, or some of the things that we tend to miss because people don't like to speak openly about relationships. Sometimes you don't realize what you need from a relationship. The major thing that I didn't realize from a relationship is that a man is supposed to be a protector and a provider. That's probably common knowledge now. But back then when I was 24, it wasn't common knowledge.
Right.
You see, so I didn't know that if I married this person, can he take care of me? Can he do this? Can he do that? And so the foundation is there to help people before they get to the point of experiencing trauma or being in situations where they realize that they have chosen the wrong partner and wasted so many years of your life, because those are 18 years of my life that I can never get back. I know. And I'm not the only one. I've had so many messages from people been in 20-year marriages, long marriages, that just feel that they can't leave because of pressure from family or friends, or they don't know how to be independent anymore. And so it's a huge thing. And so that's what the foundation is for. It's to teach and to educate.
Okay. But then have you had people come out of it to tell you that because of this foundation, because of you, because she looked up to you, she's been able to make that bold step? Have you had a couple of them come to you, testify to that? And how does that make you feel?
It spurs me on, honestly speaking. It does, because sometimes, when you get a lot of negative comments and a lot of backlash, it makes you feel like, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't talk about this. But then when the odd person comes to you and said, thank you so much for talking about this issue, for highlighting this issue, now I can use this information for myself, it spurs you on to want to do more. And you realize that there is actually a demand for it, because a lot of people are suffering in silence. We don't, especially within Africa, we don't talk about these very real issues of what happens behind closed doors. We go into marriages and we're just stuck there and we don't know how to leave because of family pressure, whatever. And so by talking about this stuff, it actually allows other people to feel like they're not alone. So many people have said to me, I just feel like I'm not alone. I didn't know that I was the only one. I wasn't the only one going through this. So the more I speak, and it encourages people, the more it spurs me to do more and more. And so that's why I do what I do.
That's a good job right there. I want you to keep it up, because you never know who it's going right ahead to affect.
Yeah.
That's like, you're doing splendid. Please do more. Do more for the...
Thank you.
And you, when you started your YouTube journey, I know you were doing more of natural hair videos, but then expectation didn't meet it, because I know every content creator goes through that when you have to, the roller coaster till you finally find your feet.
Yeah.
Then we see Dela ranting on the challenges of living in Ghana, the lighting system, the gas. And that got us like really engaging. You had audience coming. How did that go? Was it that you wanted to find a new way, or you were just ranting and then you just cut waves?
I was just ranting, honestly. So I didn't know anything about you. Like, I was completely clueless. I didn't even know that YouTube even pays you money when you do videos. I didn't know anything. Like, it literally was a rant, because coming from the UK, I'd never seen you run out of gas. I'd never seen those things before. I never knew that you could struggle with internet. For me, were basic things, like the necessities that I thought were everywhere. So coming here and experiencing those things, I was like, what is going on in this place? I didn't understand. And so it just led me to a rant one day. I didn't even think it would go anywhere, because my hair videos didn't go anywhere. So I thought, let me just do it. It was for my own therapy. The video was for me. So I just went on, I just ranted, and it just started to take off from there. Then I realized that, that was very early Ghana days. So I realized that people were actually starting to watch the content because they wanted to know a bit more about Ghana, and no one else was sort of really doing it. And so that I just fell into it. I didn't plan anything. Most of my life, I don't plan. I just fall into it.
So now have you adapted to our system that doesn't now exist?
I have, because 10 years will teach you something. I'm telling you. 10 years will toughen you. I'm telling you.
But then that in a way shaped your content creation, right?
It
directed it to another job.
Yeah.
Into real estate. Tell us how you got into it.
Real estate. So again, I never really planned real estate. It was just, the videos just started being about the house and building it and what we're going through. And then some brands were reaching out to me and were like, oh, could you come and tour this house for us? Could you come and do this? Or some of the places I was visiting to buy some things in my house, people were interested in, where are you going to do this? And so I sort of, again, fell into real estate. But then I realized after going for a while that I actually really enjoyed real estate, because I love seeing the different types of houses. And sometimes I look at houses, I'm like, oh, I'll do this different, I'll do that different. And so it was just inspiring for me. So I find it something that's very interesting. It's just very fun. I'm not a one person focused thing. I don't know why. I just can't focus on one thing. So my whole life can't just be real estate. I have to do different things. That's just the way that I'm built. And so real estate is definitely a passion, but I have other passions as well.
Okay. Any other businesses aside that?
So I've just written a book about my marriage and my divorce and all of that.
Is it out there already?
It's going to be out in the next few weeks. I have a copy here, so it's basically finished, but I'm doing like a launch for it and stuff like that. So that'll be coming soon.
You have a copy here, you say?
Not right here in Ghana. In Ghana, yeah. So that book is a reflection of everything that I went through, and it's very, very raw, very, very detailed, very, very honest, and it's not going to be for everybody, because some people don't like honesty. So if you don't like honesty, don't read it.
We'll still purchase it. I mean, there's a lot to learn.
A lot. I think that's the most honest I've ever been in my life in that book.
Okay, right. Now, talk of your real estate journey. I want you to, what advice would you give to any person in the diaspora trying to relocate back to their native homes, or try to, come in for occasional business? Would you advise that they buy a house, they rent it, or they build?
No. I would say when you first come, rent.
Okay.
Because you don't know areas yet. And so if you buy a house and you buy it in the wrong area, it's going to be very difficult for you to sell and move somewhere else. It's just the process. It's not like buying and selling here is not as easy as it is abroad. It's a lot harder to do here. So I'd say rent, understand the system, understand the area. Learn if you actually want to live in Ghana, because for some people, they don't get past the 1 or the 2 year mark. And so it's better for you to rent before you put all your money into Ghana and realize that it's not for you. So just make sure that, Ghana is actually for you, that this is actually where you want to come and live. Don't invest everything here, and then a year or 2 years down the line, you realize that actually maybe this isn't for me, because it'll be hard for you to be able to liquidate everything and leave. So definitely rent, understand the system before you fully plant your roots here.
You had another business you wanted to share with me. Would you let us know?
Yes. So I also have another business which is called Papa by Dela.
Okay.
That business is about self-care. And so before, when I was married, I used to, because I didn't have money, right? And so when I came to Ghana, I needed like cream, and I can't go to the shop and buy cream. I don't have it. So I'd buy shea butter, but shea butter is very thick and you can't just rub it on it. So then I started mixing. And sometimes I would mix on camera. People were like, what are you making? I'm like, I'm making cream. like, you make cream? I'm like, yes, I make cream. And then people were asking for it, like, how can I get this? How can I get this? I wasn't really ready to sell anything yet because I didn't have the confidence to do it. But then after I went through my divorce, and then I was sort of going through the motion of rediscovering myself, I thought, you know what? I'm going to build this brand. And it's going to be called Fafa by Dela, because for me, everything is about peace. So Fafa is peace, right? Mm. And so everything is about peace and me finding a place of peace and just having that peaceful lifestyle. So I thought, for all the people that are going through what I'm going through, I'm going to create this box. And I'm going to put my creams and I'm going to put fragrance in there, because fragrance is one thing that I leaned on a lot when I went through my divorce, just because it made me feel so good. And so then Fafa by Dela was born. And so within Fafa by Dela, I sell creams, I sell lip balms, I sell perfume, I do all of that. And it's very much about self-care and looking after you.
Just like I was saying, there's a lot into this. And I told you we were going to tell us, and that is it. Then again, we are going to practice this as well. We are not only going to read the book, but we are going to know how to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And taking care of ourselves, what we eat is also important. So anytime you are in East Legon and you want to have a quick snack, don't forget to pass through Barebone House Cafe, and they're going to serve you right. Okay, Dela, I want you to give us your final words. It could be from anywhere. Your experiences, your life, the beauty things you spoke about. Advise your audience, the youth, the women, anything you want to tell us.
Okay.
Please do that.
I would say don't be afraid of change, because change is where growth happens. And for me, the times that I've had to like really change and grow, it's been through that period of accepting change. Because whenever you try to fight change, you remain in a particular position. But once you start to accept change and you grow, you'll be surprised about the amount of things that you can do. You'll be surprised at how far and the things that the capacity that you have. So I'd say embrace change as much as possible and live your life for you. Don't live it for other people, because it's easy for people to judge from a place of not really understanding who you are. So I'd say just, try and shut out that noise and do what's right for you, because often your gut will tell you what your next step is. And it's about for you to embrace that and to just go for it. Change has brought me to the position that I'm at right now. So you might think that, oh my gosh, you had all these things planned. No, I didn't. I just accept change, and it's brought me to this point. So.
All right. And so you heard that from Dela. Don't hesitate. Like, don't force yourself to anything. Accept change. However it is, however difficult the situation is. Like, she has taught us how and when to leave. And also, when you get to that point, you can cry yourself out. That is okay. And don't forget to rebuild. Hit on it. Like, if she tells you everything she has been through and she's still looking this good, I think we should have talk about our whole story. But then we'll have it some other time if we have that grace. But then, please put yourself first in everything. Know when to leave, know when to adapt change, and always be happy. Until then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and please share this video, because this has been an insightful conversation. Okay, so Dela, let's say bye to them. All right.
Yeah.
Bye.